Hi, today I want to talk about 3 most common mistakes by new shooters and how to correct it. Alright, let's make sure this gun is safe. Magazine is out. And it is empty. Now it's safe. First is leaning back. Okay, as a medical doctor, I could tell you without any training, our body automatically tries to balance itself when there's additional weight. So when you full extend your pistol this way, your body tends to lean backwards so it could balance the weight. Now, only problem is when you fire, the recoil will push you back. So how do we balance ourselves? This is very simple, just by bending your knee. And in fact, at this point, you could actually lean forward a little bit and control the muzzle and balance yourself. Balancing yourself is really important because if you're out of balance when you're firing, I even seen people actually taking steps backwards, and that can be dangerous. And your next follow-up shot is gonna be really slow. This even gets worse when you're holding up a rifle because it's a heavier gun and your body tries to balance itself. So I see this a lot in a beginner. But just by bending your knees, your body automatically balances itself and you can actually lean forward and not feel wobbly. So simple knee bending will help your balance. And next is controlling the muzzle flip. Now in most cases, a lot of people think controlling muzzle flip is because you're shooting high. But in reality, it's actually the other way. Because of anticipation, you tend to shoot low. And honestly, it could be both. And a lot of this can be corrected simply by the grip. I talked about the grip in different video, but I'm going to show a little bit of different aspect on a muzzle control. First of all, web of your hand has to go very high, tightly up against the beaver tail, right there. Tight up. And your 3 amigos, not your trigger finger, 3 amigos has to go under the trigger guard and put a pressure at your web and your last 2 fingers. This way, you have an even pressure, so when you fire, you come back to the same position faster. And from your supporting hand, you want your 4 amigos covering 3 amigos and holding it down this way. Having that pressure, you could control the muzzle flip and you could have it at the target faster, and the index finger should just move separately just on the trigger. That way you're not anticipating the shot to low or to left. So by giving equal pressure after fire, it will come back to target a lot faster. And next, let's talk about having a gap in your hand that could cause more recoils. So after having a tight grip, you want to completely cover the back of your pistol grip without any gap, because if there's a gap, it's gonna recoil more. And having your supporting hand covering completely and not having any gaps at all. As I mentioned before, a lot of beginners, they tend to shoot low to left. And that's because your index finger and your 3 amigos is moving together. And you're also anticipating a shot. So when you shoot, they tend to do this. So you really want to practice having 3 amigos and 4 amigos holding it together and index finger just pulling the trigger. That could prevent the anticipation and pulling a shot. And lastly is follow through. I see a lot of beginners, after they shoot, they quickly holster their pistol. So they go bang, bang, which is not good. It can be dangerous too. So after making a shot, you want to stay here just a little bit, just to make sure everything is clear and safe, and make your gun safe, and then holster. Even in a real defense situation, after shooting, you want to make sure everything is clear and stay at the high position for a little bit until you're very sure it is safe, and then you can holster. And lastly, let's talk about jamming. In my opinion, there are 3 reasons why the gun jams. And for the ladies, it's limp wristing. And for most people, it's having your thumb against the slide. And lastly, it's a mechanical failure. So let's talk about the limp wristing. Now, as I mentioned before, if you don't have your web tightly against the beaver tail, as the slide comes back, your hand has to stop the frame from going with the slide. So by having a correct grip, the slide will move back and then cycle to next round. But if you don't have your hand high up, and if you're holding it like this or not tight enough, your frame will follow the slide. Therefore, the slide is not going to cycle to the next round. That slide needs a solid wall for it to fully come back and cycle the next round. So again, your web high against the beaver tail and 3 amigos in its place. The second is your thumb. Now, we see a lot of competition shooters having their thumbs up here, like this. And they actually have a thumb rest where it will keep your thumbs away from the slide. But a lot of us, we just watch them on video and we try to follow them. And what happens is that when your thumb touches a slide, that's going to interrupt the movement and your gun's not going to cycle to the next round. And I've seen people where they even cut themselves and bleed. In an extreme situation, your body automatically tries to grab everything tight, and your thumb against the slide is never a good idea. So you really need to practice to have your both thumbs on the frame, never have it above the frame. And lastly is the mechanical failure. Most common mechanical failure happens because you buy the cheapest gun out there or you don't clean it. So make the right investment and clean your guns. I hope this video helps because during my class, I'm instructing these 3 things over and over and over again. So I hope this video helped you guys as well. See you.